What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and today we're here to talk about a Fighting Cup team, and not just any Fighting Cup team. These are battles submitted by a friend of the channel, DOOMNukem. You may have seen some of his battles on the channel here before, and he used this team to hit Legend rank in the Fighting Cup, and this team does not include Buzzwole, Sneasler, Hakamo-o, or Kommo-o. And as you guys have played the Fighting Cup and you've played at a higher level in the Fighting Cup, you'll know that these four Pokemon absolutely dominate this cup. They are incredibly broken. The Fighting Cup is not a balanced meta at all. And Buzzwole and Sneasler are incredibly difficult to obtain Pokemon. Buzzwole, you have to attend the Go Fest in Seattle. And for Sneasler, you have to hatch a Hisuian Sneasel from the previous event with an account that is a low enough level for the Sneasel to evolve into Sneasler that's below level 20 for it to have a CP low enough to get in this cup. So really inaccessible Pokemon, and to be able to succeed in this cup without them is really exciting. Now a quick note guys, just to say I'm going to be dropping codes occasionally throughout my videos for the Pokemon TCG Live. They're not sponsored or anything like that, I just have a bunch of codes I'm not going to use, it's not something I'm involved in, so I'm just going to occasionally throughout the videos just pop one code up on the screen. If you guys spot it and you want to enter it and use it, feel free to make use of it. Also guys, be sure to like and subscribe, do all that good algorithm goodness, helps me out massively, and let's take a look at the team. So on the lead they're bringing Poliwrath, and then in the back they've got double poison in the form of Toxicroak and Hisuian Sneasel. And the key difference between Sneasel and Sneasler is that any hatched Sneasel is usable in the Great League and in the Fighting Cup. As a result, you don't need to have some weirdly obscure low level Hisuian Sneasler to actually use here. And although the Sneasel isn't quite as powerful as Sneasler, it does still have some really interesting play in this cup for sure. Now to share with you guys, I have the set of battles that led to Doom getting their Pikachu Libre encounter, a 4-1 set minus one of the wins that they said actually corrupted, the screen recording, and then a few other matchups showing this team holding its own against Legend rank matchups. So, first battle, and we've got a Hakamo-o on the lead, and this is a staple of this cup if you've been playing at the higher rankings. Hakamo-o has access to Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, and Brick Break, which makes it very effective in battling. And I'm kind of surprised that Doom's not opting for Ice Punch on Poliwrath. I don't know if it'd really help in this matchup if Hakamo-o, if it's a charge move that it can't actually survive compared to Dynamic Punch or Scald. But the Dynamic Punch and the Scald is what Doom is running, and honestly, if this team's working for them, they probably know what they're doing. So they're going to take a shield advantage and then get farmed down. So I'm not sure what they're going to bring in here. Is it the Toxicroak? Yeah, that makes sense. They can probably counter down, and they can survive this Dragon Claw, but they're probably going to shield up. Yeah, get ahead on energy, because Toxicroak ahead on energy in this meta is very dangerous. The Hakamo-o showing why it's so strong, making it to another Dragon Claw, getting the Toxicroak a little bit lower, and now the Kommo-o is going to come in and start chipping away with that Dragon Tail damage as well. Doom's going to get the shield with the Mud Bomb, swap into Sneasel, and start building up energy towards that Aerial Ace. And that Aerial Ace is a very useful charge move to have access to in this meta. It's one of the reasons why its evolved form Sneasler is so powerful as well, because it has access to that Aerial Ace as well, which is going to hit for super effective on pretty much everything in this meta, minus Lucario. The Toxicroak comes in from the back. Sneasel's going to build up as much energy as it can before throwing this Aerial Ace. It is going to do a monstrous chunk of damage. It's going to one-shot, boom, not quite. The Toxicroak's very low at this point. They're going to throw a move, take out the Sneasel, but Doom's Toxicroak should be able to farm down and maybe get rid of this Kommo-o punch down. They do, they take the win, and that's a GG. Fantastic energy management and counting there, throwing the Aerial Ace at the same time the Toxicroak threw the Mud Bomb, so that the Toxicroak actually did throw the Mud Bomb into Sneasel was absolutely perfect in the only win condition in that end game, so flawless play there to take that win. Shadow Machamp on the lead in matchup number 2, and seeing as both Sneasel and Toxicroak are better matchups against Machamp than Poliwrath is, Doom's going to choose to swap out straight away into the Sneasel, start getting ahead on energy. This Machamp throws a close combat, which is very spicy moveset for a Machamp to be throwing. You very rarely see Machamps running anything but Cross Chop and Rock Slide, or maybe Payback at a push. Of course, Payback having zero play in this cup in general. Toxicroak's going to come in here, throw a Mud Bomb, get the second shield out of Doom. Doom choosing to go down 2 shields this early in the game, which is very risky, but they're going to throw the Aerial Ace, probably force the second shield here out of the opponent. That's fantastic. So, what are they going to do? Bring in Poliwrath? Well, of course, you can't really bring Toxicroak behind on energy into an opposing Toxicroak because he's going to get mud bombed into oblivion. Toxicroak throwing Dynamic Punch. This trainer's running the spiciest moveset all over the place. This trainer's going to catch a Scold on their Shadow Poliwrath, which is, again, fantastic play by this trainer. And Toxicroak's going to race to the Mud Bomb. This needs to KO. Toxicroak needs the health to finish off this game and have a chance. It does. So now can Toxicroak, ahead on health but not ahead on energy, finish off this team. This opposing Toxicroak is going to throw a Mud Bomb. Is it going to be enough to KO? I don't think it's quite going to be enough. It's Dynamic Punch and not the Mud Bomb. This Toxicroak must not have... Wait, no, it already threw a Mud Bomb once in this game, so it has access to Mud Bomb. Must just be a misplay by the opponent, but that's all Doom's going to need to take advantage of this game, get to the Mud Bomb, take out the Machamp and take the win. That's going to be a GG. Jumping into the next game against the one, the only Ed Van Halen, battling from the grid. That might be a distasteful joke. Poliwrath against Throh on the lead, and Throh has some nice niche play in this cup because it has access to a Psychic fast move, although I do believe it's Zen Headbutt, and if there's one move to battle for the title of worst fast move in Pokemon Go, it would be Zen Headbutt. Poliwrath not really feeling any pressure from that super effective fast move damage, and I'm not sure what charge moves Throh has access to. Poliwrath's going to choose to shield. It is a Body Slam, so quite a spammy moveset potentially on the Throh. If it had some nicer typing, it might have some more dominant play in this cup for sure. They're going to let the Throh go down and bring in the Hakamo, and once again maybe regretting not having Ice Punch on the Poliwrath, but we're going to go for the Dynamic Punch, forces a shield, very, very nice. This Hakamo's going for the aggressive farm down and is going to get there just shy of Poliwrath, making it to one more fast move, charge move even, sorry. So maybe a better play would have been after throwing that first Dynamic Punch and getting the shield to swap out straight away to prevent this Hakamo getting too far ahead on energy, choosing to catch a Dragon Claw on Toxicroak, which is an interesting play, but maybe he's gunning on getting to 2 Aerial Aces as being the win condition in this game. Hakamo letting the Mud Bomb come through. They're going to throw a move now. What's going to be another Dragon Claw, takes out the Toxicroak. What's left in the back? It's an opposing Toxicroak, and unless this Hisuian Sneasel can get to double Aerial Ace, this is going to be a loss. Throwing the Aerial Ace into the shield. Can this Toxicroak get to double Mud Bomb, or can they just fast move down entirely? They're going to get the full fast move down by 1 turn and take the win there. That's going to be an L for Doom. Up now against Clashing Cliff. What are they going to be bringing to the party? Poliwrath into Hisuian Sneasel. So we're seeing someone else on the Hisuian Sneasel hype train. This is an interestingly level matchup. I believe these two Pokemon get to charge moves at the same pace, so it does come down to who's actually going to be winning that CMP tie, which I think should be the Sneasel. But the Sneasel choosing not to throw at the same time as Poliwrath for the first charge move, and now Poliwrath hopefully getting this Scold off before the Sneasel gets one more charge move off. Going to throw the Scold, take them out, and Doom's going to choose to swap straight out into the Sneasel. Seeing he is tapping the button there, waiting to see what the opponent brings in. It's going to be a Lucario, and they're going to choose to swap out straight away into their own Sneasler. So they're bringing the Hisuian Sneasel and the Sneasler in this meta, and interestingly enough, Lucario is one of the best answers to Hisuian Sneasel in this cup, and if the opponent actually had have stayed in that matchup, they might have been in a bit of a stronger position. But bringing in the Hisuian Sneasler, letting Doom take the last shield out of them, they're going to bring in the Poliwrath because they understand that Toxicroak potentially is the win condition, but they want this Sneasler to be energy dry completely. Now they're going to start building up that energy. The win condition here is shield at this move, build up excess energy because Toxicroak has lots of breathing room against that Lucario, which is going to come in now. Toxicroak's going to throw the Mud Bomb, followed probably by an aggressive farm down, which will allow the Toxicroak to get to one more Mud Bomb against the Sneasler, finish them off and take the win. Now there's another counter down by a Toxicroak for the win, taking on a very dominant team there and still managing to take the win. So we're going to get to see whether Doom was lucky enough to get a Shiny Libre. Is it? It is not the Shiny Libre. Unfortunate luck there. I've still got my fingers crossed every season for a Shiny Libre. I'm worried they're going to end up taking it out of the pool before I end up managing to get lucky with one. They might replace it with something else. I hope they don't, but I'm worried that they're going to at some point. Now the next matchup I'm going to show you from Doom with this team is actually taking on a Buzzwole lead. If you're curious to see how this team handles that, Buzzwole, one of the strongest and most inaccessible Pokemon currently for this meta. So what can Poliwrath do? Now Buzzwole is resisting the mud shots on Poliwrath, but Buzzwole is also reasonably squishy, so it's going to get hit pretty hard from most charge moves. Poliwrath being lucky enough to CMP tie with a superpower there, which means this is going to be immense pressure from this Scald. It will KO if they let it through. Choose not to, and they're going to swap out into their Toxicroak. Doom's going to choose to stay in here and go for another Scald, because this is just a mud bomb, and Poliwrath is bulky enough to survive this, so there's not that much pressure. He knows he can get this move off, threaten big damage to the Toxicroak, and then swap out, which they're going to hit the Toxicroak, big damage, and now they're going to go for an aggressive farm down, which they're just able to get by one fast turn, and this puts the Toxicroak in a nice position where they can go for a Sludge Bomb here, and if the Buzzwole doesn't shield, it's going to be immense damage. They're going to call the bait. They don't. It goes through. Monstrous damage. The opponent's going to surrender. They must be weak to Toxicroak. In the back, the damage is done, and taking down the Buzzwole lead. GG's. Honestly, just really impressive showcase of what a slightly outside the box team can do with a bit of grit and determination to keep on pushing through. I would not recommend you, honestly, to play the Fighting Cup unless you have access to things like the Sneasler, the Hakamo-o, the Kommo-o, and the Buzzwole if you were very fortunate enough to have one of those. But honestly, it's showing that you do not need any of those Pokemon to succeed if you've got the skills as well to pull these teams off. It's just really nice to see. So a big shout out and thank you to DOOMNukem for showing me these battles and letting me use them to show to you guys, because honestly I've been really avoiding the Fighting Cup overall. It just did not seem worth competing. I had nothing to use for it, so I was probably just going to not make any videos on this cup at all and stick to the Great League. But it's been really nice to have something to show you guys for this cup that isn't just, oh, get Buzzwole, get Sneasler, and just dominate that way through having these broken Pokemon. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, you absolute legends, and I will catch all of you next time.